On this channel, I've been following Death First Heard, pop culture, celebrity news, and also Marilyn Manson. But since the Virginia trial hit, I haven't got back to Manson, but now it's time to catch up and see what's going on. This was the biggest news, I think, since I stopped covering him about a month ago. It's about Ashley Waters and how her case was thrown out of court. I think the big reason was Ashley said that she was abused by Manson, but the memories were suppressed and she couldn't remember it. So if you can't even remember what you're accusing someone of, how do we have a case? What's going to happen there? You're going to go on the stand and cry and get emotional, look for sympathy and hope people believe it? That doesn't sound like a court case that could be based on evidence and facts and things people say that were there at the time. It sounds like you jumped on a bandwagon, said you got abused, and now you can't remember. So this here's from Marilyn Manson Uncanceled. He writes like 11-page articles on Marilyn, why he thinks Marilyn's innocent, that kind of thing. So I wanted to take some important points he had here about the Ashley Waters situation. It begins. On May 25th, 1 year after Ashley Waters filed a lawsuit against Marilyn Manson, Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Michael L. Stern ruled that the lawsuit against Manson by his former assistant contained too few facts to keep the case in court and was brought forward too late to meet the statute of limitation rules. Stern sided with Manson's attorneys, ruling that Walters' allegations were not applicable to the delayed discovery rule, noting that she had failed to provide sufficient facts to support the use of the amendment. He dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning Manson can't be sued again over the same allegations, and I must agree, what we need is sufficient facts. And nothing else, to be honest. We look at the facts everyone can agree on, figure out what happened. As far as statute of limitations, which people keep saying they should be extended, they should be less, I think they should just be fair. You know, you can't be unreasonable about it. 12 years ago, this happened to me. Well, once that time goes by, the obvious question is, why didn't you come out sooner? How can we actually get facts after so much time has passed? I understand coming out sooner might be hard, but that's something victims need to be taught about so they could help get the real abusers. Ashley claimed repressed memories delayed her filing the lawsuit. Her attorney, Tanya Sukija Cohen, said that her client couldn't exercise her claims because she was unaware they occurred until the memories came back, and the only way anyone could know what those memories were her. Sorry, it's ridiculous to me. She claims her memories of abuse came back to her in October of 2020 during a support group of alleged survivors of Marilyn Manson's abuse. That's convenient. As I've shown elsewhere, we know that Ashley was openly talking about the abuse she alleged suffered at least since March of 2019 when she posted about it on social media on the same day other accusers did as well. That's convenient and a huge coincidence now, isn't it? And then on the bottom, she goes on to say that she was threatened by violence and intimidation and coercion, which we also need evidence for. If it happened, that's horrible. But all these victims say that they were scared, threatened, and all that kind of thing. So I don't think it's possible for Marilyn Manson as one person to upkeep all these threats for so long and so tightly that all these people cannot come forward. He must have had help with that. He must have had like henchmen if he did it. So where are those people? Obviously, they're not around and it's a mystery. The bottom line is the statute of limitations on these claims ran out 2 or 3 years after her employment ended. There were no threats that prevented her from coming forward, nor any allegations of threats in the complaint between the time period when her employment ended and when she finally came forward. The idea that they can now take threats or allegations of threats from 2019 and 2021, years after the statutory period ended, and claim that those threats now explain why she shouldn't bring her suit 8 years earlier, then those threats is insufficient, Williams argued, and I gotta agree, totally. In a media statement, Walters said she was disappointed by the judge's ruling. Nobody gets to choose exactly how they process abuse or threats. I am disheartened in the court's decision today, not just for my case, but for the message it sends to other survivors out there trying to balance how they process abuse with arbitrary court deadlines. We will not let this hurdle stop us from shining a light on what happened to me and others. Well, you have to remember what happened first, all of it. You'll have to remember the evidence and the facts around it too. Her attorney with Valley Kane and Vigini LLP and Hansel Stormer, Rennick, and Dahl LLP said in a statement that they were deeply disappointed by the ruling and plan on filing an appeal. Everything that goes on, and also with Amber Heard too, is not about the facts, not about the evidence, not about witnesses they have. It's about something emotional, something they were held back by, an excuse as to why they don't have these facts. It's just never about the reality of the situation. That's not what court is about. If you're going to sue someone in court looking for money, then you've got to have the cards stacked up with the facts. Or maybe you are looking for money. Maybe Marilyn Manson is an easy target and you jumped on the bandwagon. We got to make sure that's not true. Now, look, it is possible that he did something. We don't know. But the bottom line is, when you don't know, you can't say for sure, and then you've got to let it go. If you do know for sure, like Johnny Depp did, then you go to court and you prove it. But that's not what happened here. So this was a big one. His assistant Ashley Waters was one of the bigger names that came out against him, and apparently this case is dismissed. It's June 2022 right now. I haven't heard that it's back on. The appeal succeeded. So let's consider this one a done. Let me know what you think down below. Doing shout outs, special thanks, celebrity news, stuff like that. If you don't subscribe here and you think about subscribing here and you still don't, I guess it'll be sad. But I'll get over it, make a new video, something like that. Rant over for now. See you next time.